Look how beautiful Bitcoin have been following our TA for a month. If you're a long-time subscriber of mine, you know we were anticipating all of these moves. So a long-term TA possibility is still on play, but we also got the short-term, the leading triangle we have to look at. And we of course also have a third short-term possibility to look at. We also have the TA of DXY I gave out on Twitter last month being playing out beautifully. And we are beginning to have some liquidity gaps, which is quite important because that can actually invalidate most of our TA and just crash the crypto space. We have one of the biggest, if not the biggest, institution in the world joining crypto space. They own 10% of the global money supplies. They have trillions of dollars. But is that good or bad news for crypto? Let's find out. Just a friendly reminder, guys, I am back at the office, and that means I can teach to trade you guys again. I already have a few students, but I can take a few more. So if you want to learn proper TA with no BS, no hype, nothing like that, proper TA, guys, look at my Patroen page because a lot more people are joining and they're learning proper TA. And you know what, guys? Join my Discord for free. See the reviews where people are already in and are my students. They are making a killing and you guys can too. But let me just remind you, this takes patience. And if you have no patience, this is not for you. There will be no hype, no BS, but you will learn proper TA. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. My apologies for not posted any TA for a month. Reason is because I moved from a house to apartment and I had to buy new things, paint everything, assemble everything, and I also had to fix my new home office and I have a kid, so everything takes time. I'm still not done, but of course I had to make a video now. Didn't want to let you guys down. You guys can still follow me on Twitter or join our free Discord for more frequently TA updates. And this is how my new home office is looking for the moment. Everything is new about everything with crypto, and because I trade a lot, I'm trying to build this calm, stress-free environment so I don't get any noises outside. But I'm still not done, guys. I still need a few things more and I have to do a lot of new things still. If you've been a long-time subscriber of mine, you know that we were anticipating every single of these movements. We were talking about the bearish structure, especially this motive on the Elliot wave, and then we had some corrective. And yes, corrective is the upside when we have a motive on the downside, a bearish structure. On my previous TA video, I talked about the wave 3 to wave 4 and that we were forming this ABC zigzag corrective to the upside. And yes, again, this is a corrective to the upside when you have a long-term bearish structure. We call this a motive on the downside. So these are nothing more than correctives. So we have high swing to the upside. That is what we call bear rally. The question are right now, will we finish wave C? For this to happen, we will need a lot of volume. The volume is lacking, as you guys are seeing. So the probability is getting lower. So we might per se, not for sure, no guarantee yet, we might say that we ended wave 4 at 25k. I don't think so, but that's of course always a probability. This is a realm of possibilities, guys. Always have that in mind. So I do still believe we might do a last bear rally, get the last liquidity, but when you look at on-chain data and you combine it with other TA, the probability is getting lower. So we might have done wave 4 and then go to wave 5. Now I'm still short-term bearish, but in the long term, in the years ahead, I'm very bullish, guys. Just to lay that out, if you're new to the channel and you just for the first time are seeing my TA, I'm just laying out the facts and what I see, and that this can create an insane opportunity for every single of us. Now, let me remind you guys, this is based on the weekly chart. So every candlestick you guys seeing that are formed and done are based on weekly. So this can take months before it unfolds. And let me just play a few seconds on what I said before any of this unfold with the ABC, guys. Right? And again, this is a key indicator. This is really important to understand. We will move from A to B. We have a small flush down, maybe 20k, before we see a bigger movement to almost 30k, and we'll crush down the 25k resistance area almost to 28 to 30k before we see this rejection. Now, this is only a probability, of course, no guarantee. Every indication, every indicators, every trading possibility are showing me this scenario. And as you guys heard from the previous TA last month, we finished wave A, we just finished wave B, now we're moving to wave C. And wave C have 3 impulsive and 2 retracement. The 1 impulsive wave 1 is done, then there's a retracement wave 2, then we move to wave 3, which will be the longest wave, and then we have a small retracement before we finished wave 5. This is of course a possibility and a probability. There is no guarantee, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. There's no guarantee. This is how I see the TA. Now, Elliot wave is very subjective, so people have different opinion about it. But so far, it's been following this opinion. Now, the question is, we need volume, like I said before, for this to unfold, and we are not getting the volume we need to go to the wave 4. So the question again, are we done with wave 4 at 25k, or do we have a last leg up before big flush, a big decline? In my previous TA video on the short term with ascending channel, I was explaining these waves, all right? I was saying that if we hit a wave 5, which we did around 25k, we'll most likely have a big resistance area and get decline. Remember, this is based on the daily, so this takes days before it unfolds, and it unfolds beautifully. Then in my Twitter account, I tweeted that we will most likely retest this area around 23k before we get decline again, because this line right over here will most likely be a big resistance area where there was be a lot of supply. So when there's a bigger supply than the demand, we see a decline because they will give some kind of supply shock. Again, unfold beautifully. And let me just show you exactly what I said on my previous TA video on the short-term ascending channel. Pay attention. The same wave as wave 3 or hit a fib level 1618, which is around 25,000, and then get rejected. All right, that means we will get around wave, let me just do it instead, wave 1 ABC, and then wave 5 will get rejected here. Remember, there's a subwave of 5 waves, get rejected here and then go back. This is of course a possibility also, guys. If you look at it, we can of course have a second retest of this trend line, which is around 23.5 or 24k area. That is of course a possibility, and then get decline. Now the probability is however low, because if we look at the volume is not impressive at all. We are losing a lot of interest right now in Bitcoin, and if you look at the RSI, we are getting close to 50 area, which means we are in a bearish downtrend and can get rejected. All right, so the momentum for the bulls are getting weaker and weaker, so we might not even retest it. Now again, there is a possibility, but the probability is just low. What I believe is we will go lower, and this is an ascending channel, so it is a very bearish channel. Third possibility we talked on a previous TA video was the leading triangle. On my Twitter profile, this is the most popular one people look at, but they don't understand this is also the most rare one. All right, they don't happen quite often, and if they happen, the probability is quite low. Now it has unfolded, but doesn't mean that we're going to finish, because we still have a wave 3, go back to wave 4 with that retracement, and then a wave 5 before we see a big decline. But just let me show you again a few seconds on what I said on my previous TA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're seeing a zigzag, exactly as the textbooks are showing us. And at the moment we are at wave B moving to wave C. So this is labeled as 5 or 4 is done. We are moving to 5. After that, we might get rejection here. Remember, if we get rejection, we are going to wave 2, and wave 2 will be a, remember, corrective wave, a zigzag again, something like this. Once we find the bottom of wave 2, and just look how beautiful this played out. As you saw on my previous TA video, guys, I was talking about that we will find the bottom at 4, move to 5, get rejected, then do this ABC corrective, zigzag corrective, and find the bottom at wave 2, which we did. Now, like my first possibility on the long term, the second possibility with the short term ascending channel, we lack interest. We don't have enough volume. Now, guys, volume is important. We can just look back and look at the volume. The volume is not there, guys. It is getting lower, which means that we cannot have this scenario to happen. The probability is getting low. All right, again, RSI, we are under 50, showing that we are on a downtrend. All right, every indication is saying right now this can get invalidated and the probability is low. But if we look at the theory behind it, this should be a wave 1, finding a wave to wave 2, then we should go to wave 3, which will be the biggest wave, go to wave 4, and then wave 5. All right, right at the supply zone at 28 to 30k, where there will be most likely a decline, then we most likely will go down. We go to wave 4 with the ABC zigzag corrective, and then a small and positive wave to wave 5. Now wave 5 can get lower, we call that a truncation. Of course, these are just probabilities, guys. Again, to this scenario to happen, we really need volume. All right, we need the bears to come, the bulls to come back. The bears are under control right now. If you guys look at the MACD and other indicators, they're heavily under control right now. Again, these are nothing but manipulated by the institution right now, because if you look at global trend, retail is almost gone. All right, this money is most likely from the institution who trying to manipulate the last bulls. And talking about manipulation, we can see from the BOOKMAP, which is showing a live order book, that we have a liquidity gaps. Now, what does liquidity gaps mean? So basically what it means is just that in 2 price point in the middle, there's not enough liquidity to hold these price levels because there's not enough interest. Now, they can be retail not having interest, or they can be manipulation, grab the last liquidity, all right? Because the liquidity is getting thin, so the demand is getting thin. And we see them quite often at the moment, especially in crypto. But if you look at the Bitcoin chart I saw yesterday, there were quite a lot of them. Usually when there's a bottom, especially a bottom, a lot of people are calling for bottom, we don't see this liquidity gaps. We see actually a big liquidity, which we call a demand zone, where a lot of people put their money in, all right, institution and so on. But we don't see that right now. And so I don't understand why people are saying the bottom's in. Now, the bottom can be in because there's no guarantee. But if you look at the order book and we look at the TA, it doesn't show that the bottom is in yet. And we also look at the macroeconomic. Again, everything showing that we are going down with this bearish structure. Now, be aware, guys, this is a live order book. So it means it's changed on the daily basis. Look at the DXY. I've been very bullish on the DXY since last year. You guys can check my previous video. Last month, I gave you guys a DXY chart. Again, follow me on Twitter, join our Discord. It's for free, guys. I make more TA there than YouTube videos because it's easy to post TA than just make videos about it. Anyhow, I did make DXY where I was showing you guys this chart, all right? So again, if you're a long-time subscriber of mine, you guys know I've been very bullish on DXY. A lot of people were very bearish. They were saying it is on. We are done with the parabola. I don't want to say that because I didn't see that, all right? With the macroeconomic we have right now, a lot of people is converting their stocks and so on, commodities to the dollar. The dollar is getting stronger by the day, and Fed is hiking the interest rate, which means that the dollar is getting stronger day by day, and they don't want the dollar getting weakening because a weak dollar is a weak country. They don't want that. That is for sure. And as you guys are seeing right now, I was talking about that we will most likely break this, go to the 109 level, which we did, and retest this area, which we did, and then have a big movement. I mean, the DXY at the moment is a monster, and if the DXY is going up, most likely Bitcoin is going down. However, I am positively surprised that the Bitcoin price is actually still holding while the DXY is going up heavily. So this is a positive thing. Now, I do believe we have a leg more up to 112, but that will be a big resistance zone, guys. When we reach 112, a lot of the crypto asset and commodity and risky asset will most likely be down. Be aware of that, and it will go fast up. BlackRock are joining crypto space, and that is in the short term pretty bearish, and I will explain you why. But in the long term, it is very bullish. Now, the short term, the reason is bearish because BlackRock is one of the, if not the biggest institution of the world, owns 10% of the global money supply. That is trillions of dollars. They have more money than some countries have. That is quite insane. And they're offering Bitcoin to their institution and investors and so on. So they're making a lot of exposure for Bitcoin. However, of course, they don't want Bitcoin at this level, at these prices, when they know a few years ago Bitcoin was at 3,000, 5,000, and so on. So they want to manipulate the price to their level, and then the slow accumulation will go on before we see a big price surge. This is a microcycle. Manipulation happened, and yes, it is illegal, but you know, they own pretty much the media. They can do whatever they want, and this will happen. Just listen to the media and listen how they have a bearish media and so on. That is to push price down before the price surge. This is a very normal market cycle. This happened 100 years. This is how institutions work, guys, and this is not a tinfoil hat thing. That is a real thing. You guys can search for BlackRock and see which media company they own, what they own, and so on. This is in short term, but in the long term, once they finally have manipulated the price, so they begin to accumulate cheap Bitcoin and so on, and they enter the space, there will be a demand shock, not a supply shock, a demand shock. The demand will increase heavily, insanely. Crypto space will just explode. We'll most likely have the biggest run because regulation will come. We have a midterm election. You know, people are, and especially the politicians are, becoming more and more pro crypto, but they can see this technology is not going anywhere. Right? It's a matter of time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this TA, in the left corner, there'll be another TA you guys can watch. Otherwise, come and join our Discord, guys. It is for free, and we only talk about crypto, commodity, stocks, and so forth and so on. See you in the Discord chat.